On today's episode, running backs, the hard truth and the definitive proof to understand life is not fantasy football. You're just not that valuable. You need to stop holding out. You need to quit your bitching. I need Damian Lillard in Miami. I'll give you the latest updates on what it's going to take to get him there. Apparently, they don't need a hero, but I need to be more like a dog. Got some videos for you at the end. Be like a dog. Brr. What's up, everyone? It's another round of the Tricky Guy Sports Podcast. Your host, Brent Bilski, a.k.a. Double B. Got some updates on the Miami Heat and James Harden trades as far as Damian Lillard as well. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but right now we're going to kick things off. I want to talk to the NFL running backs and all the struggles and all the stuff they're bitching about here. I want to give you guys a little truth here.
I want the truth!
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth!
Here's just a hard fact of life that some of you guys might have to figure out. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and others who decided to just go ahead and take the franchise tag and try to hold out. And it hurts, but it's true, and I want you guys to listen. You know, sometimes in life, you get what you're worth, and you may not think it's what you deserve, and you deserve more, and and that's just the way it goes. You know, when I started off in radio, I honestly, I felt like my value was more than what they were paying me, that I was a good guy, that I was a great employee, that I worked hard, that I was important to the team's success, but in the end, there was no metric to cover that. And as inspirational as I felt I was being, it didn't matter how good of a person or how sweet of a soul I was. It just did not equal out into pay. You look at, the arguments for the WNBA, the NBA. I've made the same thing. WNBA, I get it. You work just as hard as the guys. You actually go through probably more struggles. You don't have the chartered flights. You don't have a lot of the things that they have, and it's harder, and you're just as good, and you're just as great. Problem is, you make $60 million to their $10 billion. Your value just isn't there. When I look at UFC, you see that a lot. There's people that have been fighting for a long time, and then I'll look at a Jake Paul or a Ronda Rousey or a Conor McGregor and be like, hey, I'm knocking people out too. I train every day. I'm working hard. Where's my money? Where's my pay? Where's my appreciation? If the metric isn't there and the value cannot be shown, unfortunately, dude, it's the way it goes, man. We live in a capitalist system, and you're in a private organization in the NFL running back, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs. There's just not much you can do for the fact, and I'm going to make the point and give you the hard truth that the fact is you're just not that valuable.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
And the truth sucks, and you're going to have to hear it. The fact is, that, and I think one of the biggest problems is that we have as not only just the NFL player, but the NFL fan who goes, man, the running backs are getting underpaid. The running backs need to get more money. You just kind of don't get it.
You just don't get it, do you? You don't.
And here's the number one problem when I look at all the issues going on with Saquon holding out, Josh Jacobs, other running backs complaining about they're not getting their value, not getting their worth. The thing you need to realize, and a lot of you guys need to understand, is that it's not fantasy. This is not fantasy football. Unfortunately, this is real NFL football. This is real life.
Is this real life?
Yeah, it is. And it's not, in fantasy football, and I think that's what confuses us and maybe confuses even the players themselves, because your value, anyone who plays fantasy football, most people listening to a podcast like this most likely understand that in fantasy football, the running back is the number one pick. It's the first round pick. It's the first thing you do. You'll be the first one to kind of snicker at, the rookie that comes in. It's like, I'm going to draft a quarterback in the defense in the first, second round. Your dumbass is going to lose and owe us, the rest of us, a bunch of money. It's just, in fantasy football, man, without your bell cow back, without your star running back, first, second, and maybe third round, you go running back, fit in a wide receiver somewhere in there. But running back is the value. Running back is where the wins are made. Running back is how you get to a victory. We want a victory. We want a V. We need an RB. That's just the way it goes in fantasy football. But it's not fantasy football. It's real life.
Is this real life?
And the reason I'm bringing this up, because in case most of y'all are paying attention now, we're winding into the NFL season. New York Giants, Saquon Barkley, and Las Vegas Raiders, Josh Jacobs, both decided to the long-term deals, they weren't getting the long-term deals they wanted, and so they're deciding to hold out now. They're going to play maybe for the franchise tag. But Saquon Barkley, number 2 overall pick, offensive rookie of the year in 2018, 4th leading rusher, was 3rd voting for NFL comeback player of the year. Saquon Barkley is a good guy. He's a dog. He's been a bell cow back for sure, a guy who carries a lot of the load for the New York Giants as they're starting to make, finally a push back in the NFC. He can handle quite a load, man.
Quite a load.
Well, Dan can handle quite a load.
And Saquon wants his money. And so he went on a podcast recently because this was actually recorded the day before he missed the deadline. So Saquon now has missed the deadline on the negotiations for a long-term deal, which means that if he plays this year, he's going to have to play for the 1-year, $10 million franchise tag, which, cry me a river. I mean, Jesus, $10 million, that's all you get, you poor baby.
Cry me a river, you fat baby. You disgust me.
It's kind of hard to feel bad for NFL players, and the running backs and all these guys here. But I'm going to break it down even more about why, look, the value isn't there as much as you think it is and as much as you might be a good person. But even Saquon has been pushed to a limit now because he's kind of delusional and in his head that he should be worth more and he should be paid more. He's threatening to sit out. I mean, New York Giants fan, you should be a little scared here. Saquon Barkley might skip the season a la Le'Veon Bell, not learning that lesson from 2018. But yeah, in case you missed it, here was Saquon himself talking about it and talking in a way that Saquon usually doesn't talk.
I can say fuck you to the Giants. I can say fuck you to my teammates and be like, you want me to show you my worth? You want to show you how valuable I am to the team? I won't show up. I won't play it down. And that's a play I can use. Anybody knows me. knows that's not something I want to do. But like, it's something that crossed my mind. It's like I never thought I would ever do that. But like now I'm at a point where it's like, Jesus, like I might have to take it to this level. And like, am I willing? Am I prepared to take it to the level? I don't know. That's something I got to sit down and like I got to talk to my family. I got to sit down and talk to my team. Got to really, strategize about this. Can't just like go off of emotions because like I sit here and say like, oh, be mature.
Yeah, so he's going off saying, I want my money. I need my money, man. And I think it's a couple reasons that's going to be a bad bluff because, one, he's not really that guy. He even says in that video he's not really that guy. He does value winning. He does seem to be a consummate professional. I don't think he's going to do anything more than miss training camp maybe the first week or so, and once his checks start going away, because once the NFL season actually starts, if he goes under the franchise tag, yes, he can miss training camp. He can do miss all the extra little stuff, which running backs more than other positions in the NFL can miss training camp, especially a guy like Saquon, who's been with the Giants 5 seasons, knows the offense, knows pretty much what he needs to do. He should be all right. But he will start losing those big boy checks the second he starts skipping out on week 1 versus the Cowboys and going forward. I don't think he's going to miss out on that money if money's so damn important to him. But he does say it's also about value, and that's where therein lies the rub, if I can quote the only Shakespearean quote that I know. I don't know if you are really that valuable. The NFL running back, this is not fantasy football. This is real life. The fact is, you're just kind of not as important as you think you are. It's not important as the fans think you are. It's just one of those things that sucks, but unfortunately might be a reality. You're not as important to a winning team as everyone seems to consider. And you don't believe me, believe the numbers. The proof is in the pudding here. I can show you a lot of different stuff. So let's start off, first of all, how about let's just look at this. Okay, let's look at the last decade of Super Bowl winners. Let's go ahead and start there. Let me show you this. This is a fun graphic here. This is the last, going up to 2021, this is the last 10 running backs who were the Super Bowl teams winning leading rushers. So whoever won the Super Bowl game that year, the leading rusher, and how much they got paid. Are you ready? Good. So back in 2021, when the Rams won, it was led by Cam Akers. He was making $1.1 million. In 2020, when Tom and the Bucks won, it was Leonard Fournette. His base salary was $2 million. 2019, Kansas City Chief Damian Williams was only making $1 million. 2018, New England Patriots Sony Michel, $480,000. 2017, Eagles LeGarrette Blount. 2016, Patriots LeGarrette Blount. Both times made under $1 million. 2015, Broncos Broncos, C.J. Anderson, $585,000. 2014, again, LeGarrette Blount, $730,000. So that's 3 Super Bowls out of 4 from 2014 to 2017, where LeGarrette Blount was the leading rusher for the Super Bowl winning team, and each time when you were able to get him for under $1 million all 3 years. 2013 Seahawks, Percy Harvin was finally a $2.5 million, but even that's kind of a weird metric, isn't it? Because Percy Harvin is more than just a running back. You can put him at wide receiver, you put him at special teams. Percy Harvin was a special talent. Maybe that's why he commanded 2.5, which is a little bit outside of the graphic and the point that I'm trying to make. 2012 Ravens, you have Ray Rice and all of his nonsense, and he was making $2 million when he wasn't, paying lawyers and everything else. That whole mess. 2011 Giants, Ahmad Bradshaw, $1.5 million. 2010 Packers, James Starks, $320,000. 2009 Saints, Pierre Thomas, $460,000. So to review, outside of Percy Harvin, who again in 2013 for the Seahawks was more than just your typical running back, was a guy who could, plug and play and do a lot of different things, and really be more useful than just the running back position. In 10 years of winning Super Bowls, the franchise team that won the whole thing paid their leading rusher in the Super Bowl was $2 million or under. So if you're a Saquon Barkley, and yes, you're one of the best running backs in the league, no doubt. You were the number 2 overall pick. You're a bad dude, and you're a great running back. Unfortunately, the GMs are looking at the numbers, they're looking at the metrics and saying, you're just not worth it. You're not worth it. I don't know what to tell you. As pissed off as he makes you, it is devastating to your case.
Your Honor, I object!
And why is that, Mr. Reed?
Because it's devastating to my case!
Overruled.
Good call!
I mean, look, I got more for you here if you want to look more into it. I mean, we look at the top paid NFL positions. The running back, the highest paid running back, and this is not by mistake. General managers, NFL, analytics, they go through all this and they look through all this stuff up and don't pay you the much because in the end, you're not worth the money. The NFL running back, just so you know, is only paid more than the tight end, the fullback, the kicker, and the punter. Those are the 4 positions that the running back makes more money than as far as highest paid salary. Look at last year. This is another thing. Top NFL paid positions. The running back falls underneath the quarterback by far. The interior defensive lineman last year, 2022, was Aaron Donald, and obviously you remember what he did for the Rams just a couple years back and his impact to the game. You look at the impact to the game and you look at where they're getting paid, none of this is a mistake. It's not fantasy. This is in real-life football. This is where your value lies. You're below the quarterback. You're below the interior defensive linemen. You're underneath the wide receivers. You're underneath the edge rusher. You're underneath the offensive lineman. You're underneath the quarterback, you're underneath the linebacker, you're underneath the safety, and finally we get to the running back as the next highest paid, and he only again supersedes the tight ends, the fullbacks, the kickers, and the punters. That is what your value is to an NFL franchise. Even if you're the best at what you do, the highest paid at what you do, you are still paid less than the rest of them. And I mean, you look at again just the top 5 teams. Look at the top 5 teams this year. Arguably, it's quarterback and it's head coach. I mean, that is really the top 2 things. If you want to look at the top seeded, top favored NFL teams this year to win the Super Bowl, it goes great quarterback, great head coach. You have a top 5 in both of those. You most likely have a very good chance to win the Super Bowl. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles from last year. They got Jalen Hurts. They got Sirianni. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, arguably as maybe the repeat, hopefully going back-to-back this year. We'll see if they can do it. That is 1-1 when it comes to head coach and quarterback in Mahomes and Reid. You look at the Baltimore Ravens. You got Harbaugh. You got Lamar Jackson. You look at the Buffalo Bills. You got Josh Allen. You got Sean McDermott. You look at the Cincinnati Bengals, who I'm rooting for. They got one of my favorite quarterbacks in a long time, Mr. Cool himself, Joey B, and Taylor. These are all top 5 head coaches and quarterbacks. You know what's missing in that is a lot of top 5 running backs. It's just not what really equals winning. I mean, you can get upset with me and call me a prick about it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if your value's there. So, I mean, look, right now, this is the top 10 running backs as ranked by the 4 letters here. If you look at even there, you don't see, the top running backs, the team having a lot of success. Yes, if you go down, let me start off 1 through 5, and then I'll go down. So if you look, let's start off 1 through 5, top NFL running backs right now, and tell me if that's equaling team success. Nick Chubb and the Browns. Do I need to say much? Probably not. Christian McCaffrey was traded last year to San Francisco and is one of the top running backs and is only one of the only ones getting his money. And again, does other stuff, can receive, can, do things out of the backfield a lot of other running backs can't, is more of a multi-use guy, and also is on a San Francisco team that's led by defense, good coaching. Yeah, the quarterback situation is really more important to their success than even C-Mac is. They already had success before he showed up. You look at 3 right now, one of the holdouts, the 2 holdouts. Let's look at the 2 holdouts at 3 and 4. Josh Jacobs. Unfortunately, the Raiders, until they figure out their quarterback situation, are no one's considered top 5, 6 teams in the NFL. And even with guys like Devontae Adams and others, until they get their coaching and their quarterback carousel all figured out, they have always had problems for the last few years, even though I do like Carr. I root for the guy. And then where, they move on from there, he just doesn't seem to be big enough to put them in that position. So even though Josh Jacobs led the NFL in rushing as a top 3 running back, it's not showing success for them. Obviously, the Giants have made a little bit of a push, but they're still not by far the favorites out of the NFC. I wouldn't even put them as the favorites out of the NFC East, as much as I hate giving the credit to the Dallas Cowboys. You got to put them above the New York Giants. You definitely got to put the Eagles above the New York Giants. So they're not a Super Bowl favorite with a top 4 running back. Derrick Henry, been a bell cow back, been one of the best ones, and a true traditional old school Jim Brown, Eddie George type, big badass running back. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that much success for the Titans. They're good, but they're not great. So then let's go through 6 through 10. At least you start to see a little success at the end. But again, I don't know how much they provide the value other than they're just a nice side dish. They're a nice, fried Brussels sprout. They're a nice twice-baked mashed potato. They're not the steak. They're not the meat. They're not what you need in order to get full, if the metaphor can be played out here. Jonathan Taylor and the Colts, I don't even need to talk about them. Kamara and the Saints, same thing. And again, even a Kamara is more, useful in things other than just running the ball. Dalvin Cook is very good, but until Kirk Cousins decides to do better in the playoffs, it's going to continue to be a frustrating run for me, in my opinion, if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Frustrating.
It's just,
Frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
So you look at 9 and 10. All right, finally, now the 9th and 10th best running backs in the leagues are on successful teams and teams that I believe have a shot, but it doesn't really have much to do with them, does it? I mean, look, Tony Pollard and the Dallas Cowboys are currently in their own battle with contracts and issues. They just let go of Ezekiel Elliott. He was the 4th overall pick and a badass running back for a very long time for the Cowboys. But what do we all talk about? What it matters. Can Dak Prescott get it done? Can Mike McCarthy actually coach in the playoffs, and can he get success out of Dak Prescott? Can Dak stop throwing interceptions? Those are the stories of the Cowboys. Can the defense hold up? Can the injuries not bother them so much? It has usually not that much to do with who's behind Dak at running back. It seems like they're able to put other people in that position to get success. Austin Eckler, again, also a receiver, can do a lot of different things, but the Chargers are going to come down to one thing, aren't they? Justin Herbert. That's going to decide whether the Chargers and Los Angeles can have any success this year. So, I mean, do you want to go historically? I mean, do you want me to keep going here? I'll just keep nerding out and just proving a point here. The fact is, you're not worth the money.
And here we go.
Historically, you're not worth the money. The top 10 seasons, and this one really should blow your mind here, the top 10 seasons ever for NFL running backs in history. So I'm going all the way back to the 60s and looking at the top 10 seasons ever in NFL history. Does having the best running back, not just of that year, arguably one of the best of all times, equal Super Bowl success? Only 2 out of those 10 years did it actually lead to a championship. I mean, that's bananas. I mean, if that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what does.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind?
And by the way, one of those ones I'm going to bring up is from 1964, and the other one was in 1998 when they had a guy named John Elway, Steve Atwater Atwater, and some other people there. And then we can throw in an honorable mention as far as the Dallas Cowboys of the mid-'90s. But, I mean, besides an honorable mention and 2 of the 10, one of which is from 1964, the other is from 1998, having not just the best running back of the year, but arguably one of the best running backs the world has ever seen, did not, in the end, lead to a championship.
Damn, Daniel.
Barry Sanders, 97, was insane. I mean, averaged 6.1 yards per carry, had 2,000 yards. Yeah, that's great. They ended up barely making it to the playoffs. Eric Dickerson, 1984, still the all-time greatest. 2,105 yards in 1984, the all-time rushing record. They did not win the Super Bowl. You look at, let me see, I'll keep going here. Jim Brown, again, now we get to ones that actually led to a championship. This was 1963. This is the last time a true just bell cow, didn't have much else around him, really was dependent on the offense. Jim Brown gave Cleveland its last championship, was in the 1963-1964 season. And yes, he was dominant. So there's the last time having one of the greatest running backs of all time led to a Super Bowl or a championship victory. At the time, it wasn't even a Super Bowl at the moment. It was just an NFL championship in 1964. Terrell Davis, yes, 1998, was coming off the MVP, won league MVP again, had a great playoff run, and they went back-to-back as he combined for 2,476 rushing yards, the most ever for a running back regular season and playoffs. But as I mentioned, they also had John Elway, they had Atwater, they had Shannon Sharp. That was already a very loaded team. He was obviously a big part of that. But there are the 2 that actually led to a Super Bowl title. And I don't want to have to keep boring you with the rest, but you look at like the greatest NFL seasons for running backs. O.J. Simpson, 1973, the first year anyone ever ran for 2,000 yards, which was even more impressive than getting away with murder because he did it in 14 games. That is insane that he was able to get all that done. And he also had a great offensive line called the Electric Company behind him to kind of make it even better. But even then did not lead to a title. LaDainian Tomlinson, who doesn't remember LT, 2006 Chargers, one of the greatest we've ever seen. They went 14-2 that year. They did not win the Super Bowl. Walter Payton, 1977, gave them their first wild card berth out there for the Bears, but they did not win the Super Bowl until 1986. And in case you don't remember, famously, a certain Sweetness did not even see the end zone, and that ended up being the end of the love affair between him, Ditka, the Chicago Bears, and everything. So when they finally won, and they won in dramatic fashion, it was because of their coach. It was because of their unbelievable defense. McMahon did go bananas. I don't know if he still remembers it, but that's all right. They dominated that game, and they dominated that year. Unfortunately, Walter Payton was so not part of the Super Bowl victory that they forgot to give him his kind of charity touchdown. I mean, look, Sweetness is the greatest of all time, and rest in peace, but that just shows what I'm talking about. Adrian Peterson of the Vikings, obviously AP all day, one of the greatest we've ever seen, has all day also not won a Super Bowl. Earl Campbell, the Tyler Rose in 1980, was also MVP the year before, ran for 1,900 yards, 5.2 yards per carry. That's great. Wild card berth. Chris Johnson, when he ran for 2,006 yards, and he was only 5'11", 195 pounds of blazing ass speed, he also did not lead to a Super Bowl title. The honorable mention I'll throw in the top 10 seasons of all time would be Emmitt Smith. And again, Emmitt Smith had Troy Aikman, he had Michael Irvin, he had that great defense, he had that unbelievable offensive line. So after all of that I've just given you, so let's just go all the way back to the beginning. There's a reason that running backs only get paid more than tight ends, fullbacks, kickers, and punters. There is a reason that if you look at the number 1 overall paid running backs right now, it is still not leading to Super Bowl success. If you look at the top running backs in the NFL, 1 through 10, until you get to like 8, 9, 10, as far as the list goes, you're not even seeing a ton of team success, or if you do, it doesn't really have as much to do with the running back as does the quarterback or the head coach. If you look at the greatest seasons of all time, the top 10 seasons of all time, only 2 out of 10 times did that lead to an actual title Super Bowl win. I mean, Jesus Christ, does anyone have the nerve to try to say something back to me here?
Your Honor, I object!
And why is that, Mr. Reed?
Because it's devastating to my case!
Overruled.
Good call!
I mean, you know, ugh. It sucks. I mean, again, if this was fantasy football, I think a lot of people would be, more in tune with what they're going through here. But Saquon, after hearing all that, I'm going to play you what he said one more time and listen to what he's saying. I'm sorry. I don't think you understand today's NFL and what you're worth in this capitalist system and private market and knowing your value and knowing what you're worth. Unfortunately, dude, you're going to have to take your $10 million and go play football. I know it's a rough life to live, only making $10 million for being one of the best running backs in the NFL, but he talks about his value. He talks about winning. If those are true, you're paid in line, man. The market's not falling just because general managers and the NFL are a bunch of dicks. They're doing it because the value doesn't equal success. Top 10 Super Bowl teams, last 10, just didn't have to pay a lot of money for their backs. It's a running back by committee league, Saquon. And so listening to this, I don't know what to tell you.
I can say fuck you to the Giants. I can say fuck you to my teammates and be like, you want me to show you my worth? You want to show you how valuable I am to the team? I won't show up. I won't play it down. And that's a play I can use. Anybody knows me, knows that's not something I want to do. But like, it's something that crossed my mind. It's like I never thought I would ever do that. But like now I'm at a point where it's like, Jesus, like I might have to take it to this level. And like, am I willing? Am I prepared to take it to the level? I don't know. That's something I got to sit down and like I got to talk to my family. I got to sit down and talk to my team. Got to really, strategize about this. Can't just like go off of emotions because like I sit here and say like, oh, be mature.
Yeah, be mature, be this. Well, be aware of the fact that, again, in the last 10 Super Bowl winners, the most any running back was paid was $2.5 million for the leading rusher for that team's victory that game. The last 10 greatest NFL seasons we've ever seen only led to 2 of those, and one of those was from 1964 to a Super Bowl victory. You are only paid more than tight ends, kickers, and punters and fullbacks because the value also says that as well. I mean, other than that, go get your money, man. And again, I know we're supposed to feel very sad for him only making $10 million this year as a franchise. And obviously, in case you want to know the details, the sticking point is in more the guaranteed money. But once again, the guaranteed contract structure that comes with the NFL, don't get mad at the GMs. Get mad at your CBA. Get mad at the people that represent you because, yes, you don't make the guaranteed money that baseball does. You don't make the guaranteed money that the NBA does. A lot of times you have a lot of incentives or, contingencies or things that the NFL has to do because it's a rougher sport and you could always, and if anyone knows Mr. Third voted highest comeback player of the year last year who missed a significant amount of time due to injury, unfortunately, putting money in you is a risk. It's a risk. You can get hurt. Like you said, you are a bell cow back. You are someone that they go to a lot, and you take a big pounding, and that's why you think you deserve a lot of money. It also means you could also you're one of the most likely on the team to get hurt. So investing the most money in you is also a risky investment. Is that it? Have I made I think I've solidified this point here pretty good. You could try to debate me, and please put comments underneath on, the YouTube page, or if I put part of this on TikTok or Instagram or whatever else. If you want to explain to me why you think that Saquon, Josh Jacobs, and others are not getting enough love and not getting enough money, I would love to hear your argument. I don't know what you're going to base it on Super Bowl victories, on all-time success. I mean, the top 5 teams currently, what the top 10 running backs are doing in the NFL versus their value and success on the team, and that correlation. I mean, other than that, you got a good shot, man. Give it a good try. Give it a good try.
Is this real life?
It's real life. Yeah, it's not fantasy. It's not fantasy. A fantasy that I've been having, and I want to move on now. I think I'll go ahead and put that nail in that coffin. A fantasy that I'm having for a while now. I have got to see, and we have got to get Damian Lillard to the Miami Heat. That is something I am dying to see. I was a huge fan this year. Jimmy Butler and the boys and his undrafted free agents. We have to get this absolute monster over there. I am dying to see this guy right here in a Miami Heat jersey next to Jimmy, next to Bam, and you got to keep Duncan Robinson. To me, that's more key than a lot of people are giving value to. He'll space out the floor for you along with a couple other shooters. Yes, you lost Gabe Vincent. things happen, you know. Denver lost Bruce Brown, again. Things happen. This guy on the Miami Heat would just vault them to favorites in not just the Eastern Conference, but the entire NBA for the next 3 to 4 years, because his contract is scheduled to be for the next, 3 to 4 years. This guy is insanely good. I don't think people have given enough credit to how good he is, because he has been stuck in Portland. But Portland, it's time to scoot over. It's time to move over Damian to the Miami Heat and let this absolute beast of a scorer, a leader, playoff guy, 71 points just last season in a game, 4-time 60-point scorer, the only man in NBA history to not hit 1 but 2 buzzer beaters in the playoffs that eliminated the team when he hit the buzzer beater, a 7-time All-Star, an absolute just scoring beast, champion, unbelievably clutch guy. Put him next to Jimmy and Bam when you need big buckets at the end. This guy will get it done. Miami Heat will win some titles. Jimmy will get what he needs. I'll get what I need. I'll be happy, at least if not the Warriors win, who's my team, and I think have a good chance with the new moves they made. I would love to see the Miami Heat, though, get their ring and do their thing out there in Miami, and this guy is the key. This guy is the key to it all. So, like I said, can Portland scoot over so they can move this guy to the team I want to go to? We got a problem. We got a problem, and latest reports are even saying to the Heat, Blazers general manager and front office is like, dude, it's time for you guys to put up. We've been talking about this for a while. Damian has made it clear he wants to go to you guys. Time to put up or shut up here. Give us your best offer. Latest headline I just read on this constant saga here is that Portland just said to Miami, according to the latest reports, give us your best offer. What do you got? Enough playing games, enough trying to do leverage. You want that guy? We need assets. We need first-round picks. We need valuable players. We want something that's equivalent to the Donovan Mitchell trade. We want something that's equivalent to at least the Kevin Durant, even Bradley Beal with his no trade clause. We need something here. This is the greatest franchise player in Portland history. A guy just dropped 71 last year. He's only 33 years old. He's still got some years left. He wants to be on your team. He never wants to leave. He wants to come to you, Miami. What are you going to give us? What is your best offer? And I hate to say it, cupboard's kind of bare. I don't know if Miami has what it takes to get this done. And it sucks and it pisses me off because they're going to have to do something. A 3-team trade, a 4-team trade seems to be the only way we're going to get to see old Damian Lillard in a Miami Heat jersey, because you look at Portland right now, they just got Scoot Henderson. They also have other guards in Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, and some other young core. They don't need it. And the one thing Miami has, they don't need a hero. No, they don't. They don't need Tyler Hero. And that's like that's what they got, man. That's what Miami can give you. Like, dude, we can give you Tyler, just signed a new contract, good young player, blue blood Kentucky, top 10 pick, great scorer. He could really help out an organization. He's, seems like a pretty decent kid. What doesn't that entice you along with a couple first round picks? And they're like, no, not at all. We got Scoot just now. He looks great after his one summer league game. We got Sharp. We got Simons. What else you got? What else can you give us? And they're like, we got Caleb Martin. We got, let's see. We got Jaquez. We got Jaquez. We got Nikola Jokic. Navola Jokic. It sounds like Nikola Jokic. Any of that entice you? Portland's like, are you kidding me? No. And so we're stuck at an impasse here, and I don't know what else to say other than training camp is still 2 months away, so there's no real rush in getting Damian to Miami. But, God, I want to see it, and I think a lot of us want to see this get done. But, there's just a lot of things still in the way here. The Blazers could just keep him. He just signed his contract. Damian Lillard is under contract for the next 4 years and has been happy in Portland. So if you're Portland, you can be like, I get it. you're a little upset. You're 33. You're still great, and we're not really in a position to win. We just drafted Scoot Henderson. All that sucks. But in the end, we're paying you like $200-something million, including $60 million, I want to say, in 26-27 season. It's a lot of money, buddy.
Money, money, money. Money, money, money.
So why don't you go ahead and go out there and do what you got to do and cry to someone else about it. I mean, that's one option Portland can make. Also, Damian, as much as he has, the request to Miami Heat, as much as Portland wants to acquiesce and get him to the Miami Heat, and as much as his own agent, Damian Lillard, has told other teams, hey, look, man, if you try to trade for him and he ends up being on your team, we're just going to warn you, he's not coming to your training camp. He'll sit out. He's going to pout. He's going to be a baby. And it doesn't speak to Damian Lillard's complete nature as just a person, a professional. It's a horrible bluff, and Portland can get a lot better offers from a lot of other teams. Brooklyn, Utah, San Antonio. You know what I mean? I'm just off the top of my head, just thinking people, the Thunder, assets galore, picks, young guys, talent here, talent there. There's so many other teams that could make a move or a push to go get Damian, especially like a Utah would be very interesting. Again, a Brooklyn, maybe a Philadelphia. I don't think they want to make that move either. You know what I mean? So, but there are other organizations that are in a better situation than the Miami Heat, because Portland has a bunch of guards and are saying flat out to you, we don't need Hero. So they're going to have to work out some sort of 3-team trade is the only way it's going to happen, where hopefully you can trade Tyler and get, at least hopefully a first-round pick back. Add the 2 that you have with you, and I don't know, again, add your first-round picks from the last couple of years, Jovic, whatever his last name is, the one who looks in the Nikola Light, I guess, and Jamie Jaquez. I don't know if it's enough to get it done. I hope so, because I want to see that in Miami. I want to see that guy killing in Miami. I want to see him in the Eastern Conference, where, again, that would vault the Miami Heat. If they can get Damian Lillard and the Miami Heat and keep Duncan Robinson and just have to get rid of some first-round picks that they can try to negotiate and do things to get maybe some seconds and stuff later so their future's a little bit more intact. But you get Damian, Bam, and Jimmy together with Duncan and some decent role players, I will put you number 2 in the Eastern Conference. I can't put you above Milwaukee. I can't do it. Milwaukee's running it back. They were the best team in the league last year. I think the Giannis injury was bigger and more impactful than you think. I also think the fact that even though Budenholzer got fired, the fact that, his brother died that week in a car accident, y'all were bitching about, he wasn't making great decisions. Seems like his mind was somewhere else. Really? Yeah. His brother died in a car wreck. Maybe you're right. Maybe he was a little distracted. And you were going against, by the way, the only 8th seed to make it to the NBA Finals in not a shortened season in the Miami Heat. You had the greatest 8th seed of all time. You went against, Jimmy Butler and crew. You also had a head coach who was distracted, just had a family tragedy, maybe wasn't able to focus as much as he needed to. Your best player and arguably MVP every year of the league, Giannis Antetokounmpo, was also dealing with injury. There was a lot of fluky things that happened, so Milwaukee was not able to really live up to what their expectations and regular season success showed you. So the fact that they brought Lopez back, they brought Middleton back, and they're running it back, I can't put Miami in a fantasy world above the Milwaukee Bucks. However, after that, I got them number 2, which is pretty damn good. I think Milwaukee is arguably still the best team in the entire NBA, Denver Nuggets included, if everyone's healthy and their coach is focused and there's no fluky situations that kind of mess with them out there in Milwaukee, which means the good land. Wink, wink to Wayne's World. So Miami, I'd put you at number 2. I'd put you above Boston, although I want to see what happens with the Kristaps Porzingis thing. I'm very interested in that. I think Boston could be very, very good, moving smart. I think it was wicked smart. Boston, I thought you were wicked smart for moving Marcus out there for Kristaps. He's going to dunk on him wicked hard. I have to do the Boston accent when I talk about Boston. But, so I put Boston Celtics at 3. So, again, I'm going to go Milwaukee 1, fantasy version Damian-led Heat at 2, Boston 3, and then Philadelphia at 4. Because talk about a lot of intrigue, interest, things going on out there. James Harden and Daryl Morey are continuing their game of chicken here, which I find fascinating, which I think is very interesting. A little bit of beef between 2 people that have a great history. Daryl Morey, general manager for the Sixers, obviously knows and loves James Harden. They spent 8 years together in Houston. out there for the Rockets, baby. Everyone loves the Rockets. Everyone loves the Rockets.
Rockets! Rockets! It's always about the Rockets! It's always about the Rockets!
It's always about the Rockets. Now it's about the Philadelphia 76ers, though, and the beef that they got going on between Morey and Harden, because James has requested his trade, obviously, but Morey's got Joel Embiid, his best player and MVP, saying quotes that just came out a couple days ago saying he wants to win a championship, whether it's in Philly or anywhere else. In Philly or anywhere else. That is basically telling Morey, look, man, don't leave me. Don't leave me high and dry this year, dude. I'm not in the mood for that nonsense. We just made it to Game 7 last year. Yes, I sucked. And you can argue a lot of it was my fault, as much as I don't want to pretend it's my fault. Let's be honest, a lot of it was honestly his fault, that Game 7 debacle.
Look at me, son. It's not your fault.
Was your fault. But still, he's the MVP, and he's saying, look, I don't want to be stuck high and dry, and so this James Harden thing, you better be careful. You better be very careful. So now Morey's trying to be very careful, and he said out loud that, quote, he's only trading for a player who keeps the 76ers competitive, as James Harden, as much as he wants to do this and that, whatever, he opted into his $35.6 million deal. He opted in. So I don't know what to tell James, and if you're Daryl Morey, and I agree with everything he's saying, he said he's, quote, attempting to honor James Harden's contract, but, if we don't get either a very good player or something that we can turn into a very good player, then we're just not going to do it. We're not going to trade him. And, you know, if James were to turn his mind around, we'd all be thrilled, but you heard Joel Embiid comments about that. At this moment, he prefers to be traded. We're attempting to honor that, but we need to make sure that Joel Embiid, who's one of the best players on earth, has a top running mate. That is Morey's, as much as he loves you, James, as much as he knows you from Houston, as much as he appreciates the MVP, and even this year you lead in the league in assist, and, you know, doing more in the community stuff, the outreach you did with the kid who was sick, who got shot at the massacre, and then was able to bring him to the game, and being more ingratiating to the Philly crowd. All that's, you know, magnificent. It's been wonderful. You did a great job for us, but in the end, you're number 2, and I got to take care of number 1. Number 1 is starting to make quotes and acting a little bit like a prima donna and telling me, dude, I'll win here or somewhere else, man. I'll win here or somewhere else. So the fact is, James, you opted into your $1 year, $35 million deal. You are under contract. You played that game. You played that, you know, checkers, and he's playing chess. He can keep you. And the other thing that you need to focus on if you're a 76ers fan is the fact you got a bunch of money next year. The only people under contract for the next year after this season for Philadelphia 76ers are Joel Embiid and PJ Tucker with a player option. You can free up all sorts of cap space going forward if you keep James. So, you know, if you're GM Morey, there's a lot of reasons to be like, I don't know, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, we might figure it out, but if not, dude, you're just going to sit your happy ass on our bench and you're going to play one more year and get your $35 million. And other than that, just have a good time. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. So, yeah, there you go. That's the overall new NBA situation there. And that's, again, I don't even blame General Manager Morey or others for making that decision, because if you're James Harden, you know, you're number 2. Running backs, you're not as valuable. You know, there's just certain truths in life. I am still getting started here in this podcast world. UFC fighters, you know, and other boxers, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, draw more money than you. WNBA, you know, the NBA makes more money than you. NIL college girls. Yes, Caitlin Clark gets a lot of attention. So does Angel Reese. They make more money. They bring more eyeballs. The metrics say pay them. James Harden, you're number 2 to Joel Embiid. And your wants to go to Los Angeles are not as important as keeping Joel Embiid happy. So there you go. There it is. A lot of whining about money, a lot of bitching and moaning, and in the end, I don't know how sorry I feel for a lot of athletes who are making a lot more than me talk about how hard their life is.
Cry me a river, you fat baby. You disgust me.
All right, you ready? Let's go ahead and end the show here and get to some videos.
You seen it? You seen it? Don't
Don't look at me. Don't look at me, little puppet.
Have you seen this? Have you read about this?
All right. This is always something I like to do at the end of the show to have some fun in case you missed or are tuning in via Spotify or another audio format. This is always the bonus feature. Go to Tricky Guy Sports on our YouTube channel. That's right. I have put up all these shows on YouTube. I also put clips of this on TikToks and other places. But if you want to join along and ride along for this part specifically, always go to the YouTube channel and search Tricky Guy Sports. Therefore, you will find us and enjoy. Speaking of whiny, petulant star athletes here, this was the latest video of Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks along with Kyrie Irving, another prima donna. But I've been saying for a long time, him, Zion Williamson, I got in big, arguments and debates about people trying to get mad at me for pointing out that these guys are out of shape in the offseason. Nikola Jokic, I'll throw in there as well.
Cry me a river, you fat baby. You disgust me.
A lot of these athletes don't take the offseason serious, so Luka's trying, I guess. But this is what I'm talking about. He's just not, I don't think diet and exercise are always his focus. Here's Luka trying to get conditioned. I mean, seriously? That's one of the best players in the league right there. And I've gotten to see him up close. I mean, the fact is, as big and slow and dumb as he looks, the reason he comes in out of shape so many years in a row is because even at 80% speed, he's got such control and fundamentals that he's able to overcome it. But I mean, again, look at this. This is not, you don't think top 0.001% athletes of the world, do you? Watching this guy, I shuffle around, I touch cone, I don't move too quick, I might sprain knee. Oh, I touch the cone, I touch that cone, I touch this cone, but I want ice cream cone. Chocolate ice cream cone, I don't give crap about this. Me and Nikola Jokic, this is our off-season training. Slowly, gingerly touch cone. Now go eat ice cream cone. I'm Luka, I need calories.
Cry me a river, you fat baby. You disgust me.
He's probably going to come in out of shape as he always does and play his way into it. Dallas Mavericks fans, hopefully you'll be able to deal with it. Moving on. Oh, God. Okay. Look, babies are great. I'm not going to sit here and insult people that are having a baby. Congrats to this couple that is having a child.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby
Good
back.
for them.
Ribs.
They're having a baby. They're having a baby, and they're trying to do a gender reveal, and they try to do a creative way of doing it, and had a cute little idea with, I guess, maybe the husband played a little baseball in the past. I don't know if the wife was a pitcher, though, as unfortunately the gender reveal did not work out quite like they thought, as apparently, I don't know if he got the take sign. I don't know if the husband got the take sign here, but not a good omen if you're this baby. And ball one. Actually, no balls. That wasn't ball one. That was no balls at all because it was pink, so he's having a girl. It's a girl. It was a ball, but there's no balls. Bro, you gotta swing. Swing away, man. The coach in the front yard is giving you the signal. Swing away, buddy. Swing away at that. You can't take the pitch. He took the pitch. What are you doing? Yes, it was a bit inside, but get those hips twisted, man. Get your bat action going. Get your bat speed. It's a girl. Play ball like a girl. Do a little Sandlot quote there. One more time, I got to see this. Come on, man. Yes, it's a little high. It's a little high and inside, but you could have got wood on that. You could have got wood on that. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? I don't blame her. The more I look at this, she's pregnant, for Christ's sake. The woman's carrying child. She's trying to pitch the stupid thing to you, and you can't even swing? You're taken? What are you, Ohtani? Relax. You got to wait for the 3-2 count before you decide to find out if it's a boy or a girl? Give me a friggin' break. Give me a flipping break. All right, that was fun. What else do we have here? I think a lot of us hope that one day we'll become a superhero. And, I think we watch a lot of Marvel movies and get inspired and think that one day it's going to be us. And you'll have these little moments where your reflexes and stuff will kick in. You'll be like, is this my Jen? Is this my Jen story? Is this my origin story? We're not, though. We're not superheroes. We're not Spider-Man. These two guys just thought they'd check, though. I get it. You flash a little superpower. Just check. Make sure maybe you're Spider-Man. You don't know. Spider-Man didn't know he was Spider-Man until he was Spider-Man. We're not Spider-Man, though. We want to be, but we're not. And there's, ooh. Do I have? Can I web shoot? Can I shoot my web everywhere? I don't know. Here I got the milk and the coffee. Oh, kick. Ooh, let me check. Let me check the wrist. Am I Spider-Man? You are not Spider-Man. I'm sorry. This is real life, buddy. Superhero origin stories do not happen.
Is this real life?
One more time, though, because I appreciate, again. Oh, gotta, just nailed that. Oh, can I climb can I do this now? This was impressive. Kickball change and catch. No, still not. Not mad at him, though. Pretty impressed.
Actually, I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
I'd check, too. I'd want to be Thor, though. Let me be the god of thunder. Spend time with Natalie Portman. Didn't she just get divorced recently? Moving on. Speaking of people who had quite an origin story, and maybe, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Sometimes it takes tragedy to become a superhero or become something different. Four-wheelers. I'm going to explain this to people. I just had someone who I know through, I know the person that is the person he was with. These four-wheelers, ATVs and stuff. Guys, these are not toys. I know they look and act like toys, and people like to do extreme sports, and they like to ride around and go outdoors with these things. Dude, these aren't. These aren't the ones, man. These things are very fast. I mean, they're pretty much one of the dumbest things ever created. I would say four-wheelers and ATVs are basically Darwin's vehicle. If I can use a metaphor here, I will say the ATV and the four-wheeler are basically the vehicle for Darwinism, is using the full metaphor here. As poor Kev found out, trying to four-wheel indoors, you see stuff like this all the time, and don't do it, because it doesn't work. Yeah, we're riding tents, round 4. I'm having a good time and dead. Hey.
Kev.
Hey. Kev. Hi. Yeah, Kev's asleep, man.
Don't move.
Kev went a little night-night. You guys play with these things. I'm telling you, they go extremely fast. There's no protection anywhere. I think motorcycles might arguably be safer than these damn things. And people think they're toys. They think they're go-karts. So they're jet skis of the ground and ride around like old Kev here. Yeah, we're having a sleepover. Let me get on that four-wheeler. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go around this corner so damn fast. I'm going to be like Ricky Bobby. Ooh, I want to go fast. And pow. I do want to see that one more time. No! No! Bang! Hey, Kev. Kev. Hey, Kev. Hey.
Don't move.
Yeah. Don't worry. He's not moving, man. I think you're good. I think you're good on him not moving. He might be in the hospital for a while.
I ain't got a good brain.
Might turn him, though, into a genius. Maybe this is Kev. I got another video. Maybe this is Kev in the hospital. So you saw this poor Kevin guy get some horrific brain injury, God knows what, and I hope he's all right. I don't really know. That's all the video I got. I got no finish to what happened to him other than, hey, don't move. Don't move, buddy. Maybe he's this guy. So some other guy shows up, and he had a brain injury in the hospital. Horrible story. Sad to hear it, and that really sucks. But, superhero origin, suddenly this guy's a genius with a Rubik's Cube. This is the brain. Have you ever heard about stuff like this where like people will get hit on the noggin and suddenly can speak a new language or have a new accent or, can remember stuff from like 9,000 years ago? This guy could suddenly figure out a Rubik's Cube and also wanted a Subway sandwich, which I find odd. But brain injury, suddenly this dude's asking for a Rubik's Cube and he's a genius. Check this out. Not even looking. Solved in like 3 seconds. It's insanity. It's bananas. Just knocking out that Rubik's Cube like it's nothing. Smartest man alive now.
I am the smartest man alive!
But yeah, look, the caption. Read it right there. My nephew had brain surgery yesterday. When he woke, he asked for Subway and a Rubik's Cube, and apparently had never asked for either before a day in his life. And after having his brain tinkered with, is suddenly just knocking this thing out. Those are pattern. I mean, maybe it knocked something loose. You know, Rubik's Cubes do have a pattern to them. There's a pattern recognition that if you have that part of your brain turned on, maybe you're suddenly able to switch into it here. And it looks like he was able to do it because he's just, I mean, dude, he's over here. His eyes are over there. He's like, yeah, Rubik's Cube. Oh, is this one of the hardest things for most people to do? I'm still thinking about that nurse over there in room 12D. Can you bring her out here? Maybe I can impress her with this cube. Just banging it out, man. The brain. What do we have, like 10% unlocked tops? Now they say like 2%, 5. I probably have 0.5, if I'm being honest. This kid's already a genius now. I hope he's okay. All jokes aside, hope he's okay. Him and Kev. Hi, Kev. You okay, Kev? I think I got early footage of when Kev was trying to play t-ball. Found this video as well. This poor little kid. Trying to impress his dad. We're going to go out in the backyard. You know, big moment playing with the dad or the uncle or brother or whoever. But I'm going to show off my t-ball skills. Going to get a little lesson, a little coaching, right? Get a little practice here. Check it out. Yeah. About to hit this ball 1,000 feet. Check this out, Dad. I got this. And bang. One more time. Yeah, man. Just wait. That Ohtani contract's coming, Dad. I'm going to knock out the... I mean, I'm telling you, Mike Trout ain't got nothing on me. Look at my beautiful red hair. Ready to rock. I might take a nap. Maybe 2 naps. What sport am I playing? Are you my father? Poor kid. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. Kids they get knocked in the noggin, they pop right back up. They're fine. What else did I want to do? Oh, last ones here. All right. I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to do this in a montage in just a second here. But I am obsessed, and I love dogs. I love dog sports videos. I love dogs playing sports. It might be my favorite thing in the world, and if you don't like it, I don't really give a shit.
I don't care.
I love dogs. If you're a cat person, you can kiss my ass. If you're a hamster, bird, whatever, horse, that's all great. They can't play sports like dogs. Can't play sports like dogs. Dogs are the best. Dogs are the best at playing sports of any animals. Dogs are the best pets in the world. Dogs are the only animals you need to have. Dog, 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 dog. Be a dog. Be more like a dog. So anyways, I found another one. This was a dog playing hockey. You know, the other day I showed you the dog playing baseball. I can show you this one more time. Look at this. Little Rover here. Shmee schmack. Just awesome. So there was that. I've also shown you before a dog playing volleyball. This was also pretty good. He clearly knows what he's doing. Watch this. Bang. Pow. Got that, Dad. Oh, you want to spike that? All right, good save, Dad. Here, I'll set you up. Bang. Again, they understand what they're doing. The last dog knew to hit that ball. This dog knows, knock it in the air so Dad can spike it. He's a great setter. Way better than I've ever been. Look at him. Look at him go. Those are perfect sets. Dog is kicking some serious ass at volleyball, man. Mom finally messed up there, and clearly was his dad's fault for distracting him. But, yeah, dog playing baseball, dog playing volleyball. We got dog playing golf. Look at this. Putting it in. Brewski. Shake and bake Brewski. He's going ahead and knocking in putts. I got, let me see, dogs doing squats with their fathers. I mean, look at this. Again, watch. This dog knows what's going on. All right, Dad's getting some leg lifts in. Check this out here. Yeah, it's good form. You might want to work, though. Get that rear a little lower. Yeah, you want to power up, Dad. See, look at me, Dad. Look at me power up. See how I'm thrusting up with full... Yeah, see, you're still going to... Yeah, that range of motion, Dad. I don't know. The dog is training his dad. Dog is like, dude, get low, get, knee, get level, man. Get that glute working. Got to get that glute working, Dad. Dogs are awesome. Dogs do everything. Dogs are your best friend. Dogs are better than people, if you ask me. And be more like a dog. That's all I'm going to say. Be more like a dog. Bennett Presser, famous head coaching speech. I played this years ago, and in case you never heard it, I'm going to play it one more time, and I'm going to show you these because, again, life is about being like a dog. Be more like a dog. This was a head coach for some school way back when doing a press conference about his football team, and damn it if he ain't right in all of life, you got to be more like a dog.
Trying to get our 2 boys ready to carry them to golf tournament before practice, right? 12 cats live across the road. Our door's open. Screen's broke. We need to get a new screen door, but the screen's broke, so you can come in through the screen, but you can't get back out of it. I turn and look, there's a little kitty cat in our kitchen. So I said, what are you doing in here, little kitty cat? By that time, the cat turns, tries to get back out. That screen won't go that way. Cat starts going, meow, all crazy.
Oh, crazy.
And I told our players, we need more dogs. Bo's barking in the back. I have to go shut Bo up. Mel's like, what's going on? I said, there's a cat in the house. Cat in the house? I said, yeah, there's a cat in the house. So I told our players, I tried to let it out the front door. Meow, meow, the cat's still going crazy in there. And I told our players, you need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs.
Need more dogs. Need more dogs. Even when they hit you in the balls. Need more dogs. I need more time, but I ain't got it. I got to go. See you soon. I love you.